Good evening, everyone. Bienvenue. Ani bonjour. Welcome, one and all. I am absolutely delighted to be here as your host for a second time at the second annual NOSM University Achievement Celebration. Give yourselves a round of applause. Wonderful, wonderful to have everyone here tonight. My name is Jessica Pope. I am the Manager of Public Affairs and Government Relations with NOSM University. Many of you I know, and many more I will know over the course of the evening, I hope. It's wonderful to see all of you here. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, NOSM University respectfully acknowledges that our Pan-Northern campus is situated across and on the homelands of First Nations peoples. Specifically, the university buildings are located on the territory of Fort William First Nation in Thunder Bay, and the Anishinaabeg Nation, specifically the Atikameksheng and Wanapitei First Nations in Greater Sudbury. Our event today is taking place on Treaty 13 territories of the Anishinaabe people, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, Haudenosaunee people, and Huron-Wendat territory. But beyond a land acknowledgement, NOSM University understands that reconciliation is a practice. We gratefully acknowledge the elders and knowledge keepers who share their gifts with us and their teachings so that we may better understand and honor their wisdom and that of all of the traditional keepers of this land. Tonight, we are given the gift of an Indigenous blessing to open our celebration. I would like you to welcome to the stage, please, Mr. Perry McLeod Shabogijik.
Bonjour. Hey, good. Anzoka Dijnikas Shage Dodem be sing donjaba Nishnabe Endao. At this time when we gather, as Anishinaabe, we always make sure we have food. And in the preparation of that food, our thoughts go not only to those of us here in the physical world that will share in that nourishment, but also those spirits that travel with us in our daily lives, that whisper to us, that guide us, our ancestors that brought us to this place we are now. Also the spirits that have given their lives here in our creation family. Those flyers, those walkers, swimmers, all those ones who provide us with that nourishment for our vessel so we can keep on walking in our journey. So when we prepare this small bit of food, we always want to make sure the spirits know this is for them. So we prepare this spirit plate in a small amount. And we do it in a small amount because it's believed that in the spirit world, things are the opposite of here. Up is down, night is day, big is small. So when we prepare this plate, it's small, but when it's received in the spirit realm, it is a huge buffet. So we acknowledge all of those who've come before us, this food, this medicine. That's what food is. Good food is good medicine. And so we acknowledge the beings that cross our path to provide us with that good medicine. And for those who've lived before us and those who will be coming after us. Aho, miigwech.
Miigwech, Perry, thank you very much. This evening, we honor greatness and achievement at NOSM University. It is a night of celebration. Don't forget that. It's a night to share. I see plenty of you taking pictures, you're taking selfies, you're gathering around and standing shoulder to shoulder with your friends and colleagues. Please share those great memories with us. You can share them on social using the hashtag NOSMUExcellence, because that's exactly what we are. And you can certainly share them on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly Twitter. Please remember to @ us. We are @ the NOSM. And of course, as this event continues to grow, and it certainly will, we are going to look back fondly on all of the pictures that we collect and all of the good times that we've shared. It'll be a nice cache of our shared history. Well, evenings like this one take a considerable amount of coordination and support, and this evening has been generously sponsored by MD Financial Management. A warm welcome, please, to Mr. Marc Lepage.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm getting old. I need my glasses. Nice to see the group is a little bit larger than last year in Thunder Bay. Bonsoir tout le monde. I'm delighted to join you today and say a few words on behalf of MD Financial Management and Scotiabank. We're proud to partner with NOSM University and be a part of supporting its learners, alumni, and faculty members. As a financial advisor at MD Financial Management in Northern Ontario, and a Northerner myself, I live in Sudbury, it's an honor to speak here today and congratulate all the award winners, the brilliant and hardworking faculty and medical learners who have enhanced the quality of education and enriched the experience at NOSMU and within its rural communities. Medical school takes dedication, a passion for education, and a strong motivation to succeed. The faculty and learners in this room exemplify these qualities. At MD Financial Management, we're solely dedicated to providing financial planning to Canada's physicians and their families. Through our partnership with NOSM University, MD and Scotiabank are able to support many initiatives like the Northern Constellations, Pan-Northern Clinical Rounds, Francophone gatherings, celebrations of the annual graduates, just to name a few. We've built a wonderful relationship with NOSM throughout the years and look forward to continuing our collaboration for many more. Thank you for your time tonight, and my sincere congratulations once again to tonight's award winners. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lepage. I'd like you to join me now in welcoming none other than our President, Vice Chancellor, Dean, and CEO, Dr. Sarita Verma.
I want to thank Dr. Travis Marion for helping me get to the stage where I could actually walk up here, because a few days ago I wouldn't have been able to. That is what we do. We cure people, we help people. Ani, bonjour, bonjour, hello. I'm Dr. Sarita Verma, and I am, of course, the exiting President, Vice Chancellor, Dean, and CEO. And I'm so pleased. The first one last year was a trial, and you know what? It was really successful. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you to our team, Kim, Jason, Caroline, the whole team. And by the way, the CEPD team, Melissa, Matt, Tara, Sarah. I had a dream. The dream was to build a university, unanticipated, but to build a university that in a few years you will be continuing your pride, continuing your joy, continuing your love for NOSM University, because that's how I feel. And I warn you, there may be several more events where I'll cry a lot. So I won't. And I'm not using the script that Jessica gave me, so she's going to pinch me in a minute. But we're really here to celebrate, and to celebrate achievements, to celebrate the work that we do, and to acknowledge the pride that we have in who we are. And we are NOSM University. All of you stand up. You are NOSM University. And I'm going to do an Ellen DeGeneres. I'm going to try. Everybody stand up. I'm going to try to do, and I want to see happy hands, everybody. And I want you to say, we are NOSM University. We are NOSM University. So these events are more than just awards show, and people have said to me, well, it's like a popularity contest. A few people will get awards, but they really are about you. They're about celebrating what we all do. You are NOSM University. We are NOSM University. And next year, when NOSM University, NOSM, turns 20, it's 20 in 2025. And I will expect you all to bring one more person with you to Northern Lights, to Northern Constellations, to Northern Connections, and to this event. So let's double the size of this room. I know they can open another panel. And let's get 600 people in the room, because we have a lot to celebrate. Celebrations are, in fact, rituals, but they're also traditions. And we need to establish those traditions that are based on our values of respect, inclusion, social accountability. Who are the learners in the room? Students, residents, grad students, stand up. You are our future. Thank you for what you do, because you are the greatest ambassadors for our institution. But remember one thing, and this goes for all of you. We are all teachers, and we are all learners. So respect each other, because respect and inclusivity and social accountability are part of who you are. It's in your DNA, and it will be part of what will live with you at NOSM University forever. Come back, be part of our alumni, and be proud of this ritual. Come back every year. I hope next year we'll have a big alumni event for the 20th anniversary, but I think it'll be the 16 years of the MD graduates, so that'll be really cool. The rituals, the traditions, the celebration are something about creating pride in who you are and pride of what our institution is. And in 10 years, if I can get up on the stage, I will hope to come to celebrate with you the 10th anniversary, or I guess in 8 years, I can't count. In 8 years, the 10th anniversary of this event, because I hope that we'll grow with your pride, your sense of belongingness. C'est pour tout. It's for everybody. It's Indigenous, it's Francophone, it's multicultural, it's Northern Ontario. And even though we're here in Toronto, they'll become part of Northern Ontario pretty soon. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I hope you have a really good evening. There will be wine coming, don't worry. And of course, a fabulous dinner. So I'm really excited. I do want to thank Colin, Mike, Mark, for their support of this event, MD Management, Scotiabank. This is not costing the taxpayers anything. They have very generously supported this event, and we're so grateful. I want to say miigwech chimiigwech to Perry. Where are you, Perry? Chimiigwech, Perry, for your beautiful words. We will eat at the buffet of life tonight. Be proud of NOSM University, because I certainly am. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
Dr. Verma doesn't need my speaking notes. I provide them, but it's totally unnecessary. I'd like you now to turn your attention to a short video, and after that, we'll get the party started.
Northern Ontario, a land of breathtaking beauty and boundless opportunity, where nature reigns supreme and the spirit of adventure thrives. In the heart of the vast and vibrant North lies NOSM University, born of necessity and purpose-built to address the pressing need for healthcare in the region. Through partnerships with over 500 organizations, we've woven a tapestry of support reaching into every corner of the North. With learning happening in more than 90 communities, we're not just educating future healthcare professionals, we're empowering them to become agents of change. In our journey towards health equity, we stand shoulder to shoulder with Indigenous and Francophone community partners, honoring the wisdom of the land and its peoples. We serve over 800,000 Northern Ontarians over 800,000 square kilometers. NOSM University graduates have already touched half of those lives. As an economic driver, NOSM University contributes an estimated $134 million in new economic activity, proving that a healthy community is indeed a wealthy community. With a proud legacy of nearly 965 MD graduates, NOSM University boasts remarkable diversity, including more than 75 Indigenous and 185 Francophone physicians, many of whom have chosen to dedicate their careers to serving Northern Ontario. We educate future healthcare professionals who are more likely to stay in the North, helping to ensure continuity of care for generations to come. More than half of NOSM University graduates choose family medicine, much higher than the national average. But it's not just MDs who benefit from our transformative approach. Countless registered dietitians, medical physicists, physician assistants, audiologists, occupational therapists, pharmacists, physiotherapists, and speech-language pathologists have completed their training at NOSM University as well. This further enriches Northern Ontario's healthcare landscape. With a commitment to understanding and addressing the unique healthcare needs of the North, NOSM University is transforming lives and shaping the future of healthcare. Created in the North, for the North, by the North, where compassion meets innovation. NOSM University is unlike anywhere else.
I love that. Where compassion meets innovation. Absolutely brilliant. The dinner hour has arrived, and while you are enjoying your dinner this evening, this year's faculty promotions will be announced as well as shown on the screen. And we're also thrilled this year to be able to honor our brilliant friends and colleagues in health sciences. Health sciences, are you here? As you can see in your program, and there are programs on each of the tables, we're going to enjoy these awards during the dinner hour, after which we will have a very special presentation from Dr. Bill McCready. After dinner, more members of the NOSM University community will be recognized for their outstanding achievements in the last year. But in the meantime, please do enjoy some very good food and some even better company. Thank you again for being here. I do hope you're enjoying your first few tastes. I hear the soup is quite good. I hope everyone's tucked in with a glass of wine, should they choose. We're going to get to promotions. And of course, absolutely everyone in this room is exceptional. There's no question. But this year, we're going to begin with those among us who have earned promotions, many of whom actually are NOSM University alumni. Professor Emerita, Dr. Carita Lanner. Professor, Dr. Tara Barron. Professor, Dr. Ayman Hassan. Professor, Dr. Alec Moyes. Dr. Alain Simard. Dr. Adedeo Alabi. Dr. Melanie Bro. Dr. Chantel Corbeil. Dr. Lily DiMiglio. Dr. Joseph Del Paggio. Dr. Sarah Faca. Dr. Renee Gauthier. Dr. Ken Hodson, Dr. Nana Afua-Joma, Dr. Tara Leary, Dr. Virginie Merchardier, Dr. Renee Anne Montpellier, Dr. Florence Moriello, Dr. Rebecca Nekoe, Dr. Laura Power, Dr. Carrie Reed, Dr. David Savage, Dr. Ravinderjeet Singh, Dr. Karen Splinter, and of course, Professor Emeritus Dr. William McCready. Congratulations, one and all. Would the Promotions Committee and its chair, Dr. Anil Joseph, please stand for a round of applause. Thank you very much for your efforts. We're moving on now to the PCTA Leadership Award. And to present the PCTA Leadership Award for 2024, please welcome to the stage PCTA President, Dr. Roni Atui. This award is given to a physician leader who has demonstrated commitment to excellence and to innovation, has had a lasting impact on clinical education, and embodies and integrates the values of professionalism, exceptional communication, collaboration, management, and advocacy. I'd like to congratulate tonight Dr. Sarah McIsaac. Congratulations, Sarah. And please scroll down for pictures. Thank you. We're moving on now to Health Sciences Award. I would like to call to the stage Dr. Mike Ravnik, Director of Health Sciences and Program Development at NOSM University, to hand out these awards. Come on up, Mike. These Health Sciences Preceptor Awards recognize those individuals who have offered exceptional experiences to learners studying in our dietetics program and in our Visiting Learner Rehabilitation Sciences program, which includes students studying occupational therapy, physiotherapy, speech-language pathology, and audiology. These awards are going to be given tonight in batches. The Innovative Preceptor Award first, and it's given to preceptors who embrace innovation in providing clinical learning experiences. The award recognizes educators who are prepared to do things differently with innovation in order to meet the needs of the learner. As I call each name, would the recipients present tonight please come to the stage in order to receive your award? We'll do a group photo on the stage, and then there will be opportunities for individual photos afterward. The Innovative Preceptor Award. For occupational therapy, Sarah Jane Mason. For physiotherapy, Fraser Stevenson. For speech-language pathology, Carrie Linklater. And for dietetics, no dip, Chantal Bélanger. A round of applause to all of our winners in this category. Well done. The Interprofessional Collaborator Award celebrates individuals who are recognized by their peers and learners for being a good collaborator or leader in interprofessional learning. Again, as I call each name, would the recipients present please come to the stage to receive your award and stand for photos. For occupational therapy, Mavia DeNoble. For physiotherapy, Jill Whitwam. And for speech-language pathology, the co-recipients are actually colleagues, preceptors Brenda Little and Alana Gowan. For no-dip, Leela Hopper. And another round of applause for all the winners in this category, please. Next is the Commitment to Clinical Education Award, and this award recognizes those preceptors who demonstrate commitment towards the education of health science professional learners in the North, as evidenced by being a frequent and willing participant, supporter, and champion of education. For occupational therapy, please help me to congratulate Linda Smith. For physiotherapy, Marie-Josée Dagenet. For speech-language pathology, Sally Gilmette. And for no-dip, Rachel Palaniuk. Congratulations. The Northern Ambassador Award is a celebration of preceptors recognized for being strong ambassadors for their communities and creating a welcoming environment for learners of all disciplines. For occupational therapy, Monique Jardin. For physiotherapy, Derek DeBossage. For speech-language pathology, Rachel Passah. And for no-dip, Kelsey McGinn. Well done to all of our winners. Congratulations. The Academic Excellence Award recognizes individuals who consistently participate in or contribute to scholarly activities, including research, mentorship, and academic instruction. For physiotherapy, Cheryl Alderus. And for no-dip, Bridget King. I don't believe Cheryl and Bridget are with us. Mike, you are excused. Thank you. A round of applause for Dr. Ravnik, please. I see salad has begun. I will be back again shortly to introduce Dr. William McCready, who tonight will give us his last lecture. I see a lot of happy, smiling faces. How are we doing? How's the meal so far? Can we give the service staff a round of applause, please? Very, very nice indeed. I'd like to draw your attention to the program. There is a QR code in the back of the program. If you're wondering where we're going to be warehousing photos and award winners, their names, everything will live on the website celebrate.nosm.ca. So you just scan through with your phone and take a look at celebrate.nosm.ca. It's a work in progress, as so many things are, but we will be updating it each year with new photographs, new memories, and new award winners. Our next speaker tonight is here to give us his last lecture. Please help me welcome to the stage NOSM University Professor Emeritus, Dr. Bill McCready. Hit the green button, and you can watch it on the monitor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You know, my family doctor is in the room, Jason Shack. Is this really my last something, Jason? Something I don't know? Or is it the dean's effort to make sure I don't come back again? So when thinking about, you know, what I might tell you about my career, which has been somewhat long, as you'll see, I started thinking about things that had happened to me and why they happened and what lessons you folks might learn from my stupidity, my luck, my bad luck. So that's why I called this talk Lessons Learned in the Role of Serendipity and How Fate Shaped My Long Career. So lesson number one is, you know, get your basic medical education in a war zone. So I went to medical school in 1969. I know that many of you were only just sort of a star in your father's eye at the time, or maybe your grandfather's eye. But I went to medical school in Belfast in 1969. In 1969, I went to southern England for a job in a bird's eye factory. Those of you who know the UK may know that's a frozen food factory where I developed my lifelong aversion to green beans, amongst other things. But while I was there, the so-called troubles of Northern Ireland started. So I came back to basically what you see on the screen, armed police, riot shields, soldiers patrolling the streets with self-loading rifles, and this is a more modern picture of the Divis Flats. The Divis Flats had just been built in the late 60s, early 70s, and they were a hotbed of Republican activism, sniper activity, and you had to walk past them every day to get to the medical school. So I was shaped by that violence, but it did, in retrospect, at the time it didn't seem like a good idea, but in retrospect, it gave me amazing clinical skills. When you were the only guy left, after the real doctors, as I used to call them, were doing all the hard stuff, and then something else hard came in, you were the guy that ended up having to do it. My abiding memory is a police officer shot through the chest by a sniper at the same time as the real surgeons were putting together 3 people who had been blown up making a pipe bomb. These people were critically ill and dying, and the police officer had a tension hemopneumothorax, and I was in the emergency room with my chief, who turned around and said, "McCready, chest tube, no local, now." So, you know, those are the kind of clinical skills that stood me in great stead through my career. And if you're going to learn medical skills, a war zone is a great place to do it. So the next thing that happened to me, which I'd advise you to, is someone offers you a chance to go and study somewhere else, do it. In Northern Ireland, this was called your BTA, your Beam to America. And, you know, we didn't distinguish Canadians from Americans at all at that point. They were the same kind of people. They'd kicked out Trudeau. We didn't really like them that much, you know. So I saw an ad in the Lancet. Now, I'm not quite as old as 1827 Lancet, but I saw an ad in the Lancet for a fellow in Toronto to study continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis, which I had no idea what that was, not a clue. But it seemed like an opportunity, and the person initiating that study was Dr. Dimitri Oriopoulos, who happened to have an NIH grant to study CAPD. He had come up with this technique, and it's still the technique used today for continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis, where you drain the spent dialysis fluid into the bag that you filled it from, and that reduced the number of connections involved and reduced the peritonitis rate and made this a doable technique. Some say his nurse invented it, and I believe that story. But nevertheless, he had a job. And so I went to my chief in Belfast, whose name was Dr. Molly McGeown, and said, I saw this ad. I think I might really like to do nephrology. Do you think this would be a good idea? And she said, oh, yeah, it'd be a great idea. And by the way, he did his PhD in stone physiology with me. So there was another serendipitous event that got me this job in Toronto. I came to Toronto, and the classic story is you arrive in a wool suit in July thinking you're coming to, you know, this cold country. But it was a wonderful opportunity. It taught me so much. It taught me about diligence in clinical trials. Dr. Oriopoulos was a stickler for making sure everybody got all the tests, and we recorded them all and kept them all. You know, he became a guru, sadly died about 5 or 6 years ago of lymphoma, but he was a wonderful mentor and understood the immigrant experience. I arrived in Canada previously. Before I left, I had a problem with my wisdom tooth, and in the UK, dentistry was a little, you know, less than perfect in those days. And you had to pay for dentistry, so I knew I was having some trouble with a wisdom tooth, so I went to my buddy who did his internship at the same time I did, and he said, oh, no problem, I'll take your wisdom tooth out. And there was this horrible cracking noise. I came to Toronto and then started getting pain in my jaw. And I went to see the dentist in the Toronto Western Hospital, who happened to be the brother of a guy I went to grammar school with in Northern Ireland. Again, serendipity. Who said, well, he's left all 3 of the roots of your wisdom tooth in your jaw, and it's healed over. So that was fun. So I spent a few years in Toronto doing this research job and finishing my nephrology training, and then began to think, you know, should I go back to Northern Ireland where the pyramidal system of training would have left me somewhere at the bottom of the training pyramid? When I got a phone call from Dr. George Morrison in Thunder Bay saying that their nephrologist had tragically been killed, and would I consider coming? So it seemed, again, like a good idea at the time. So the next advice about that is, if you're going to make a move like that, go to a medical community that's ready for change. And Thunder Bay, at the time, was ready for change. Interestingly enough, they had the answer to my conundrum, which was, at the time, you needed a visa to get a license to practice medicine, and you needed a license to get a visa to stay in Canada. So Thunder Bay had the answer to those problems, so I managed to come there. there was a bunch of young physicians who either were already there or just arrived shortly thereafter that were also ready to change the world of that hospital. Of course, I came to nice scenery like this. This was the old McKellar Hospital before the modern Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Centre. But people like George Doig, Blair Marchuk, Tom Betizorba, Peter Lytrans. Is anyone old enough to remember Peter Lytrans? Probably not. Tragically died of a pulmonary complication of a systemic disorder. Rick Almond, many of you will know. Rick was my first family doctor. Not as good as Jason Shack, but you know, not bad, not bad, not bad. And Paul Humphreys, who became an important figure in my medical education journey in later life. But perhaps more important than the young guys who wanted to make changes were the older physicians who recognized those changes were required. So older guys like John Wilson, an anesthetist, Peter Nealons, who was running the NOM program at the time, and John Augustine, who'd started the NOM program, and George Morrison himself. Those individuals were able to recognize youthful enthusiasm, not always sensible enthusiasm, but let you run with it and help you to figure out how to work the system. Within a week of arriving in Thunder Bay, I had a patient with accelerated malignant hypertension. Nobody in Thunder Bay knew what this disorder was. And I said, well, could you get out the nitroprusside? And they said, what's that? And so someone called the pharmacy and said, oh, yeah, we've got that. Nobody knew anything about how to use it. The nursing staff didn't know how to hang it. It has to be wrapped in silver foil and all those things in those days. So I very quickly learned that I had to align myself with sensible people in the nursing community if I wanted to get anything done. And so I'm going to give a shout out to someone called Shirley Laforme, who was the chief nursing officer in Thunder Bay, McKellar at the time. And she helped me navigate those rather horrible issues after she sort of got over the fact that I was pounding her desk and telling her we had to do this immediately. So she helped me to figure out that and find a way of doing these things and doing them productively. So that was a great experience. We changed lots of things at McKellar Hospital, brought that hospital up to a modern standard of care, and paved the way for what became the Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Centre, without doubt. So then, lesson number 4 is that educating medical learners is, in fact, the answer. It's the answer to many things. When I came to Thunder Bay, didn't know much about anything other than a bit about kidney disease. Saw a patient from Geraldton who had simple hematuria, blood in his urine, no protein, normal kidney function, normal ultrasound. Looked at his urine, had some dysmorphic red cells, so I said, yeah, you've probably got IgA nephropathy, just needs to be watched. Kidney function every 6 months, 24-hour urine for protein at the time was the test. Annually, things go awry, come back and see me. Sent him back to Geraldton. 5 years later, he shows up with advanced kidney failure, needing dialysis. And so I said, you know, what happened? How come you didn't get your tests? And he said, well, my family doctor left. I didn't have a family doctor for 5 years. And then it made me realize I had to really get involved in trying to change that situation for the North. We need a much better situation than that. So I started working for the Northwestern Ontario Medical Program, NOMP in its old days. I had a learner in my first year in practice. His name is Lois Campbell, and he's working in Midland right now in family medicine. So he's still around. He's on our faculty, I checked. So I sort of stayed involved, saw lots of learners, some good, some bad, mostly good. so many bad that I had to not do it. And then along came the family medicine residency program, partnered with McMaster University, and I was recruited to become the specialty coordinator for family medicine, and the first thing I had to do was learn the 4 principles of family medicine, which I used to know, but I can't remember them all now. But Paul Humphreys was the program director originally. Some of you may know him. He was very proud of the fact that he had a nephrologist who knew the 4 principles, who was working with him. And, you know, we had a very interesting first group of residents, one of whom is in the room today. Stand up, Dave McClendon. And I wasn't much older than these guys, a little bit older, but old enough that they called me Uncle Bill. And we went on from there to expand our into the postgraduate program and paved the way for what eventually came from that. And I was unfortunate or fortunate enough to be around long enough to be the last chair of the Northwestern Ontario Medical Program, and got to work with the transition to NOSM. Now, those of you, there are some longer-toothed individuals in the crowd, I think, will remember that those were not easy times. There was lots of head-banging, shall we say, and difficulties arising in transitioning those programs and the staff involved. And I spent quite a while trying to decide whether I would just walk away or whether I would stay and try to help make it happen. And in the end, I decided I would be selfish to walk away. And I wasn't going to be selfish because I thought about the importance of medical education and why I should stay. And I don't regret that for 1 minute. It was well worth staying, it was well worth collaborating, and well worth doing. And of course, then we had another transition under Dean Verma where we suddenly became this university with all the things that happened with that. And I was around long enough to see all that happen and the excitement and the difficulties that went with that and the strain it put on revered individuals like Dr. Verma, and the amount of work and hassle and unpleasantness. And we live in a modern culture where we don't think too much about harassing people we don't agree with. That's changed in the last 30 years. And it makes life unpleasant for individuals. But it's worth sticking with all these things to make the changes you need to make, that's for sure. So the next thing, my lesson occurred, and it occurred fairly quickly in my time in Thunder Bay. If someone asked you to collaborate on a research project, say yes. So my story is that when I got to Thunder Bay, we had a small dialysis unit. We had a lot of old machinery, including old batch dialysis systems with great big tanks. And there was a chemical engineer at Lakehead University called Laurie Garrett. And Laurie Garrett was a mathematical whiz. He could do the math. And at the time, we were getting into measuring dialysis dose from the blood side. And those of you who've been around nephrology a bit will know that we look at dialysis dose with something called KT over V. And we traditionally do that by doing pre and post blood samples and a bunch of complicated math. And we say, well, the KT over V is this. Very good. Well, Laurie said, well, we can do this by actually measuring how much urea we're removing if we could only find a way of collecting all the dialysis fluid as it comes out the machine. And so I've got the answer for you. I've got a pile of these things in the basement. So Laurie Garrett and did all the work. Of course, we simply provided the patients and the machines and the rubber boots when it spilled on the floor. And we actually managed to publish what was actually quite a seminal article on urea kinetics from the dialysate side. Subsequently, dialysis machines have evolved, and actually now most dialysis machines measure urea removal I won't go into how it does that, but if you want. I actually did think I should give a talk on sodium handling in the distal nephron, but I decided against that. So Laurie Garrett and those aficionados of urea kinase will recognize Dr. Conneau from Montpellier in France. Those are the kind of people you get to collaborate with when you're doing these things. So this urea kinetic modeling by partial dialysate collection was one of those things that gets cited like 100 times and someone, tells you did a good job. The downside of it was that they asked me to become a reviewer for such articles. And I didn't know what the math was about at all. So all I could do was look at it and go, well, that kind of makes sense, and that's Laurie Garrett to check the math. So that was my early collaboration and led to many articles on urea modeling. And unfortunately, because we were in Thunder Bay without a lot of resources, we couldn't take it to the next level of developing the machines. And now people are, these dialysis companies have made a fortune. In the United States now, they will measure your KT/V on the machine. The second you get to 1.2, they take you off so they can make money. But that's the kind of commercialization that's occurred in that. And then this delightful lady, Dr. Yulanova, one of our faculty members, she moved in next door to me. Right? Literally, they built a house next door. It was a new development, and in comes this Russian lady who says, Bill, I need a clinical collaborator. So, her interest was strange things with Pseudomonas attachment organelles or something I didn't understand. That's what she did anyway. And I said, well, I really don't know too much about that. And, well, what do you know about? So I said, well, I know about kidney failure and patients. So we went on to develop a fairly big research project on various aspects of immune responsiveness in patients with kidney failure, many different types. This is another one I don't understand anything at all about, but nevertheless, my name's on the paper. Naturally acquired antibodies against Streptococcus pneumoniae serotypes in indigenous and non-indigenous people. So these were, and there's Eli Nix, who's now, I think, a psychiatrist. Maybe he's finished his training now. At the time, he was a PhD student of Dr. Ulanova's. Some guy called Doug Borm, don't know who the hell he is, but. So don't say no to collaboration. There's smart people out there who want your clinical knowledge, who want you to be able to say, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why, but that's not clinically relevant. Or, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. And so these are people that really can help. And so we really have a fairly robust CV now. I used to always say I always wanted to have the longest CV in NOMP. There's no way I'm going to have the longest CV in NOSM, but thank goodness. But these people helped me achieve some of that. So having a next-door neighbor who's a brilliant immunologist and an MD was an amazing serendipitous act. So lesson number 6, how am I doing for time? The hook is not out yet. Don't turn down every opportunity that you get to diversify your career. And people will come and ask you to do all sorts of things as a physician. And it's real easy to say no because you can keep going and seeing your patients. They'll love you for it. But eventually, when you get as long in the tooth as I am, you're going to have got bored with that or unable to do it anymore because of the work commitments, etc. So you'll be able to find other things. So you can't say no to everything. So I just made a very short list of some of the things I didn't say no to. So I was the chair of NOMP right before the end of that organization's life. I became the Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs at NOSM, again in an effort to try to help move these along. And recognizing the old NOMP culture which was it was a physician-run organization, and it was a democratic organization in that way. So this was not an organization set up with a hierarchy and subsequently things like a Senate and so on. So it was important to try to make that transition occur. Keep physicians on board was vital. Somewhere along the line, I got phoned by the registrar of the college. Now, that's a scary phone call, okay? You come into the office and your secretary says, the CPSO registrar would like to speak to you. And oh, Lord. Anyway, he wanted me to run in an election, and I did it. And I was a council member for 6 years and served on the Discipline Committee and the Quality Assurance Committee and the Fitness to Practice Committee, all of which were fantastic experiences. So don't turn down those kind of opportunities. Think about whether you can fit them into your lives, and if you can do. Then, after I served as the Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs for a while, I decided that, I probably wasn't going anywhere further in NOSM at the time. And I actually, for about 3 months, was the Chief of Staff at Thunder Bay Regional when the CEO resigned rather abruptly, and the board asked me to step in as interim president, which I was for 9 months. Again, you might easily have said no to that experience, but it actually was a very good experience. And I was there long enough to see that the organization could, in fact, become something different. Not saying it did, but it had a lot of potential. Still could. And then lastly, and I'll come to this somewhat towards the end, I used to say I was dug up from my early grave by Dr. Verma, who had me come back to help again with the clinical relations that NOSM had. So my final job was Vice Dean with NOSM University, and again, a very rewarding one. And, for having gone through all these steps, I got myself to the point where I wanted to be participating in the big decisions. Most physicians absolutely want to do that right from the start, even though they haven't got a clue what those decisions involve. But we all think we're smart enough to do it right off the bat. But I finally did get to be at the table for those big decisions, and that was an extremely rewarding part of my career. And it let me sort of transition to what is now my final retirement. So lesson number 7, and most young physicians know this, but old guys like me did not know it. Medicine is a team sport, especially nephrology, especially looking after dialysis patients. You cannot do it on your own. When I first got to Thunder Bay, the renal service had 1/10 of a social worker, 1/10 of a pharmacist, and 1/10 of a dietitian. And this was a program that was doubling in size every 7 years. So we spent a long time trying to get a team together, and serendipitously, the province decided that they were going to fund a satellite dialysis unit in Sioux Lookout, which we managed to start, but I insisted that we couldn't start it without the help of other professionals. And those are just some members of a multidisciplinary team. So my multidisciplinary story is that you have a successful team when your Indigenous patient reveals a history of sex abuse to your male gay dietitian. That's when you have a good team. When you can work together and talk about those things, and you can't manage these complex problems. When I did have students doing all this, there's all these themes in NOSM, right? There's theme 1 through, was it 6 now or something? But it was 5 in my day. But that everybody was interested in theme 5, right? The medical knowledge, so they would come to nephrology thinking that I was going to teach them all this medical knowledge stuff. In fact, what I taught them about was you cannot manage a dialysis patient without paying attention to all these other things. They'll just die. They won't be able to live, they won't be able to eat, they won't be able to stay anywhere. You have to have people to help with these things and how vital that is. So medicine's a team sport, never forget it, embrace these people, they will keep you out of trouble, they'll help you, and they'll more especially help your patients. And I guess this is the last important lesson. It's a quote from this American guy, Peabody. The secret of the care of the patient is the care of the patient. So I couldn't have done any of these things that I've described to you without having some kudos as a clinician. People had to know that you were reasonably good. You didn't have to be fantastic, but reasonably good, reasonably competent, and committed to your clinical job before you could succeed at all these other jobs. So always bear in mind that your primary job is to look after the patient. They will reward you. The most rewarding part of my clinical journey has been the care of Indigenous patients. The satellite dialysis units in Sioux Lookout and Fort Frances were over 90% Indigenous in the patients that were there. And when you're a dialysis doctor, you see patients more frequently than their family doctor does. You really do get to know them. And they get to know you, if you let them. And I think you have to show a bit of yourself to your patients to be able to manage them properly. Not necessarily all of it. There are some things I wouldn't want them to know about me. But you have to let them know something about yourself. So when I did retire from that, I was gifted this eagle feather by this chap, and that's a little canoe that holds it. That was in Fort Frances, and these are the moccasins that were made for me in Sioux Lookout. Now, that's the fur was trapped by a nurse who worked in the dialysis unit, and the patient made the moccasins from that. So, you do get rewarded by paying attention to the care of your patients. And I would thoroughly recommend that. Lastly, I want to thank Dr. Verma for dragging me out of retirement again, and to Paula for her support. Thank you.
Dr. William McCready, Bill, Willie as he's known to his friends, but that's a term of endearment. Thank you, Bill. We have something called, it's actually only a game I play by myself, which is the 6 Degrees of William McCready. He has touched everybody's heart, and he has done every job. That's just a small list. He's actually done everything. And so when I came along, I said, I had 2 people. Dave Marsh was one, and Bill McCready was the other, because honestly, there was a corporate memory at this institution that is never, ever underestimate the fact that we have lousy document management. I didn't know where anything was, and between these 2 guys, especially Bill, you saved my patootie many times, so thank you very much. We did celebrate Bill several times, and he did get a lovely gift from us. And really, honestly, thank you to Paula as well for actually settling him down. We've been through a lot together. And I really want to thank you all for letting Bill do his last lecture. It isn't a last lecture. It's not like I was on a plane recently, and the pilot came on the air and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is my last flight." And everybody in the plane went, "What?" And he meant he was retiring, but we were all frightened to death until the plane landed. But last lecture is obviously a tradition, another tradition we've started. Last year it was Dr. Gertson as he retired. And as I said again earlier, or Jessica said earlier, thank you for being our Professor Emeritus. We will be celebrating you at convocation and welcome your great achievements. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
Let's get on our feet, folks. Dr. McCready, well done. I'm sorry if your dinner is cold, Dr. McCready. I'd like to invite Dr. Harshad Talang, Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs, to come to the stage now, please. Hi, Harshad. Nice to see you. Thank you. The NOSM University Awards of Excellence and Scholarship. Recognizing all faculty members' contributions to education, research, clinical care, and administration in Northern Ontario, NOSM University acknowledges the faculty's integral role in achieving the university's mission of innovative education and research for a healthier North. The NOSM University Faculty Awards of Excellence and Scholarship celebrate faculty within the clinical, human, and medical sciences divisions to recognize their unique contributions. We begin with the Academic Leader Award. The Academic Leader Award recognizes people in the clinical, medical, or human sciences division with demonstrated leadership skills in NOSM University administrative roles, such as program directors, theme course chairs, FACE module coordinators, academic directors, medical directors, as well as other administrative positions outside the university. Please help me to congratulate the recipient, Dr. Roni Atui. Congratulations, Dr. Atui. The Clinical Scholar Award recognizes members of the Clinical Sciences Division for their research, presentation of papers, production of posters, invitations to speak at professional meetings and other institutions, and mentorship of faculty in the aforementioned areas. The award tonight goes to Dr. Ioannis Voutsidakis. Unfortunately, Dr. Voutsidakis is not with us tonight, but we congratulate him just the same. The Clinical Teacher Award recognizes members of the Clinical Sciences Division for excellence in clinical teaching and supervision skills. The recipient of the Clinical Teacher Award is Dr. Amber Dudar. Dr. Dudar is not with us either, but hopefully she'll be able to watch on YouTube. Next, the Community Champion Award. This award recognizes a clinical sciences faculty member who has had a significant impact on their community through clinical services, teaching, research, volunteer work, or other community involvement. The recipient continually advocates for the best healthcare available. The recipient of the Community Champion Award, Denise Taylor. Denise is not with us this evening either. I promise, Harshad, you are here for a reason. Next, the Medical Educator Award. The Medical Educator Award recognizes members of the clinical, medical, or human sciences divisions for their outstanding contributions to medical education, research, and/or curriculum development. The recipient of this award, Dr. Richard Painter. Very nice. The Scholar Award recognizes individuals within the medical or human sciences divisions for their teaching, research, and administrative contributions to NOSM University. The winner of the Scholar Award, Dr. Sunjinthar Tharmalingam. The Faculty Mentorship Award recognizes exemplary commitment by a clinical faculty member in the mentorship of other faculty. The recipient of this award, Dr. Roy Kirkpatrick. And another big round of applause, please, for all of these remarkable faculty members at NOSM University this year. Truly exceptionally well done. I'd like to invite Dr. Jason Shack, Assistant Dean Learner Affairs, to the stage, please. We are going to recognize some of the outstanding learners at NOSM University. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Shack. The Learner Advocate Leader Award recognizes learners for their achievements in advocacy and/or leadership, particularly with respect to improving educational programs. The recipient is Ashley Wallace. Well done. The Learner Scholarly Activity Award recognizes learners for their teaching, research, and administrative contributions to NOSM University. The recipient of this award, Arjav Gupta. Next, Learner Peer Teaching. This award recognizes learners at all levels who strive to improve the teaching, learning, and educational environments for other NOSM University learners. The recipient of this award is Dr. Michael Christie. Dr. Christie cannot be with us tonight, but we congratulate him and salute him for his award. The Learner-Nominated Teacher Award recognizes members of the Clinical, Medical, or Human Sciences Division for excellence in either academic teaching or clinical teaching and supervision. Please help me to congratulate Dr. Kirsten Parr. And another round of applause to all of our winners in this category. I think Dr. Shack's already gone. Next, we're going to enjoy the NOSM University Awards of Excellence in Scholarship in the Alumni category. To present the awards to alumni this evening, again, please welcome to the stage Dr. Sarita Verma. Each year, NOSM University alumni demonstrate exemplary service and commitment to healthcare, medical education, and research in Northern Ontario and across the country. The Alumni Awards recognize the achievement of some of our most accomplished graduates from all NOSM University programs. The Rising Star Award is presented to a recent graduate of NOSM University within 1 to 5 years of completion of residency training who has demonstrated significant professional achievements, made significant contributions to their community or as a volunteer, or has displayed promise of significant future and accomplishments in Northern Ontario. Please put your hands together for Dr. Kyle Harper. Dr. Harper could not be with us tonight, but a tip of the hat. The Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award is presented to NOSM University alumni who have achieved excellence personally or professionally, and whose actions and influence have made a positive impact in healthcare, medical education, or research in Northern Ontario. The recipient will have made a strong contribution to NOSM University and have demonstrated their commitment to bringing equitable and accessible healthcare to the North. Congratulations, Dr. Kim Varty. Unfortunately, Dr. Varty was here earlier, but she couldn't stay. But a big congratulations to Dr. Varty nonetheless. The Honorary Alumni Award is presented to an individual who is not a graduate of NOSM University, but whose actions have embodied its vision, mission, and values. The recipient has positively contributed to the Northern Ontario healthcare community and to the medical profession. The recipient of this award is Chuck Schmidt, posthumously. And here tonight to accept this award is his daughter, Molly. I would like to share a few words about Chuck. From the very early years of the Northern Ontario School of Medicine and the development of the MD program's third-year comprehensive community clerkship in Dryden, Chuck, as so many of you know, was very eager to get involved. Over the years, he warmly welcomed hundreds of medical students, residents, and other health learners to the community and made them feel right at home. A great mentor to physician recruiters and NOSM University site administrative coordinators across the North, Chuck was always thrilled to share his wealth of knowledge. The supportive environment that he created in his hometown enabled him to recruit many physicians to the Dryden Regional Health Centre and to the Dryden Area Family Health Team. And he was very proud, we understand, of the NOSM University graduates who chose to practice in the community and of their commitment to health equity, particularly for the Indigenous, Francophone, and LGBTQ2S+ communities. Chuck leaves behind an incredible legacy and a lengthy list of accomplishments across the North. He embraced every aspect of life with a genuine and infectious enthusiasm, always saying that life is a gift and that you only live once. Without a doubt, he changed many, many, many lives, and we are all better for having known him. Thank you, Molly, for accepting this award on behalf of your family, and thank you also to Dana for making the trip to be here tonight. Know that Chuck is dearly missed. A round of applause in memory of Chuck. Well, my heartfelt congratulations to all of the winners of the NOSM University Alumni Awards. Now we're excited to recognize faculty, staff, and learners with the inaugural Dr. Sarita Verma Awards for Distinguished Leadership at NOSM University. These recipients have demonstrated exceptional leadership qualities, including effective communication, collaboration, innovation, and a commitment to NOSM University's values and mission. and they have contributed significantly to the betterment of the NOSM University community. For faculty in the Northeast, a warm welcome and congratulations to Dr. David McLean. For faculty in the Northwest, the recipient is Dr. Kim Varty. Congratulations, Dr. Varty. You are missed this evening. Now to the Dr. Sarita Verma Award for Distinguished Leadership at NOSM University for staff in the Northeast. The recipient of this award, Dr. Christy Cote. Very nice. For staff in the Northwest, the recipient is Marie Parkari. Now to learners in Northeastern Ontario. The recipient of the inaugural Dr. Sarita Verma Award for Distinguished Leadership at NOSM University among learners in the Northeast is Dr. Melanie Rose Frappier. And for learners in the Northwest, please help me to congratulate the recipient, Taylor Murray. Unfortunately, Taylor couldn't be with us tonight, but we congratulate her wholeheartedly. One more round of applause, please, for everyone here tonight, and congratulations to all of our award winners. Well done. Dr. Sarita Verma is going to leave you with some thoughts.
Well, first of all, Jessica Pope. MC extraordinaire. 2 days ago, she had no voice, so we're really delighted that you were able to get here. And of course, honestly, the team that put this together, Joanne, Jason, Kim, Alex, Vanna White, and truly the entire communications advancement team, and of course our CEPD team who made this event possible. These are not things easy to pull together, and you take from an institution. I really have to say this. When I started 5 years ago, there was a piece of paper hanging in the front of the podium with some marker on it, and we've come a long way with building the brand, and Scotiabank, MG Management, really honestly, without your support, we could not build this institution. We are the only independent medical university, but we don't come from all of the other ones. SFU has a university, CBU has a university, UPEI, TMU comes from the old Ryerson. Now York has a new medical school. In fact, I've been approached by a Quebec school that wants to open a new medical school. And you know what they share? Our curriculum. Everything we do, our research endeavors, our faculty affairs, our approach towards everything we do. They call us and say, can we have what you're doing? And we learned pretty quickly on that sharing is good, but now we share if they pay us. But the truth is, building a brand out of nothing into this has been really awesome. It's been a dream come true. Merci beaucoup, miigwech. I hope that you haven't had too much indigestion eating while we gave the awards. It is a bit weird, I admit that. But otherwise, we'd be here till midnight. And like the Oscars, we really didn't have the chance to do this, some of the awards at lunchtime and some of the awards later on the day. But I'm glad there was no slapping this year. We really think this is an important event. Next year, remember something. In 2025, we're 20. Everyone here, I'll repeat it, bring somebody with you. I'd like to see this become the ticket to have. Maybe I'll get Taylor Swift. But seriously, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I'd love to see you get a little more rowdy. And NOSM U rocks. Merci beaucoup, miigwech. Thank you very much.
One and all, could we raise our glasses, please? A toast to Dr. Sarita Verma for her incredible contributions to the NOSM University community. You will be missed dearly. Congratulations on your upcoming retirement. Well, it's time to say thank you and merci, miigwech, chi-miigwech, for a wonderful evening at the second annual NOSM University Achievement Celebration. Please remember, as I mentioned earlier, share your shots with us. It's really, really nice to have them. You can put them on social media, but if you don't want to, just send them to us using email. Use the hashtag NOSMUExcellence, and remember that the entire achievement celebration will be uploaded and available on YouTube in the coming days. That's at NOSM TV. And I want you, everyone, take this down, put this in your calendars. We meet again here next year, Friday, May the 9th, 2025, for the third annual NOSM University Achievement Celebration. There's going to be so much to celebrate as we mark our 20th anniversary. Do not miss it. For those who want to stay a while, by all means, please do. The bar will remain open a little while longer. If you're drinking, of course, don't drive. And congratulations, one and all. One more big whoop whoop and a round of applause for everyone in the NOSM University community tonight. Congratulations.